Hi everyone, you are all welcomed to Vigilance Media House TV. VMH.
Hello friends, how are you? I just want to take this opportunity to welcome you to our show. And today we have something very interesting, and I believe that it will also be of interest to you. And it is good to learn history and also to know how people lived traditionally, our traditional way of life. And many people today, they are despising the kind of life that people lived traditionally, but many a times I find myself admiring the way people lived. And as you can see, I am in some kind of traditional attires, like you can see my hat, and it is because I want to explain things that took place in the traditional African society, and also how those people who lived long time ago, the way they lived, the utensils that they used to use in their day-to-day life. And as you can see, I don't know whether you will agree with me, but I am starting to become an ancestor, you know. And something very funny has been happening recently, and before I take you to the things that I am going to explain to you today, our young girls, you know, those in colleges, those in the university, nowadays when they get somebody, they say that they have sponsors. These are people who are paying their bills. These are people who are taking care of their financial needs. And it is quite interesting that if they happen to get someone who is very old, you know, an elderly person, and I said that they fall in the trap of these old men because of float. And when I talk about float, I'm talking about cash. You know, these old people, they have cash that we don't have, we young men. But I said that I am starting to become an elder. You can see I am an elder. So if they happen to fall for someone who is very elderly, they say that I have an ancestor. So maybe you are having an ancestor. That is a topic for another day. We will talk about such kind of relationships. But back to our topic today. I said that we are talking about the traditional way of life, and I have some utensils that those people used in their day-to-day life, and I have this one here. Okay, now I'll just use it and explain to you when it is this way. Okay, now in English, that is a calabash. This one I am holding, it is a calabash. When it is complete, it is this way. Okay, so in the traditional African setup, they used this for different kind of purposes. Like, for instance, they used this to ferment milk. So they poured milk inside here, and then they fermented it. So milk that was fermented using this object here turned sour, and they took it when it was sour. Okay, so in my native language, they would call that milk chak mopuo, okay? In English, that is sour milk. In Kiswahili, that is maziwa iliyochacha or maziwa mala. In Kalenjin, they will call it mursik, okay? They will call it mursik. So after that milk had fermented, then they will pour it using this part. So this part is hollow and it is this part. This one has been cut and that is why it is short, but you can see it is hollow. So they poured it out using this part, okay? It was also used for keeping milk. So this object was also used for keeping milk. Another use, it was used for drinking milk, and they made it. There was a process they used to make it. Now, when they take it from the plant, when they pluck it from the plant, this calabash is green in color. So they will dry it, and after drying it, that is when it will turn brownish, okay? So after it has turned brownish, then they will cut it into 2 pieces, and when they cut it into 2 pieces, this is the end result. So after that, they will remove the seeds, okay, from the inside and clear it. So henceforth it will be ready for use. So you can see from the process I started by explaining until now, okay? I hope that you've been following. So this one, they used it to drink porridge, that is uji in Swahili, and nyuka in my mother tongue. And they also used it to drink milk, okay? So the way you can see it, this is the part that carries the content, okay? Like I can demonstrate it for you. You can see. So this is the part that carries the content to be consumed, okay? So this part now becomes the handle, okay? So you use it by carrying it using the handle, okay? And then you either use this side when you are holding it using your left hand, so you can drink, okay? If you are using it with your right hand, okay, you will use this part to drink like this, okay? I have a daughter. We used to reside in the urban area, and when we came up country, when I brought this gourd to her, in my native language we call it agwata, okay? So she was asking me when I presented it to her that which part do we use for drinking, and she thought that we use this part for drinking. So this is what she was doing. You can see it is even pouring the content on me, because we are not supposed to use this part, okay? But I explained to her, and I am explaining also to you. Take interest to explain to those young people in the urban area when they come across such an item, that this is the part that we use to hold it. This is the handle, okay? So I said that when you are using your left hand, you hold it this way and then you use it this way. When you are using your right hand, you hold it this way and then you drink this way, okay? But when it is being presented to you, okay, the person who is presenting it to you will carry it using this part. Remember, it is already carrying the content, so you will receive it this way, okay? Or this is with your right hand, or if you receive it with your left hand, you will receive it like this, okay? Now, in between, when you are drinking something, you can see to pause. It is very stable. So maybe you want to place it on the table, okay? So I will demonstrate it in two ways. The first way, in between, you want to place it on the table. You can use a bowl. You can use a bowl. So this is what you will do. You will place it like this. You can see it is very stable. Maybe the bowl is on a flat surface, let's say on a table. So this is what you will do. So you can place it on a bowl and it will be very steady, okay? Also, you can use another way. Right behind me, you can see a banana plant. So these are the dry leaves of a banana plant. So traditionally, they didn't have a bowl. So this is what they made into a circular shape, okay? And after making it that way, then they placed their aguata or guad like this. So they placed this on the table and then they placed the aguata on it. So someone would sip and then place it on top of it. So you can take the dry leaves of a banana plant, you make it in a circular shape, okay? Tighten it, and then you can place your gourd on it. So I believe you've learned something, and I know that our cultures are not the same. We have different cultures. We have different names for different items. You can drop your comment on our comment section and tell us what you call this gourd in your mother tongue, and also the different purposes you use it, okay? Also, when it is complete, when it is a calabash, you can tell us what you use it for or what it was used for in the traditional African setup in your society. Worldwide, you can tell us what it was used for. Also, it is important to educate our young people about our history, what this kind of utensils were used for and when they were used and for which purposes they were used. And also, we have a very rich source of such information. Make a point, when schools are closed on long holidays, you can take your children up country. They can spend time with their grandmothers. They can spend time with their grandfathers. They can be told those Sigana. Sigana is story, okay? In my mother tongue, we call it Sigana. Like you can start long time ago. Chon Gilala, okay? Long time ago. I don't know how you start your story, but it is interesting. Those bedtime stories, when their grandma is cooking, okay? They can sit around the fire. They can listen to to those stories. At the end of those stories, there are lessons. They can be told that these stories taught us this and this and this. We should not go on this path. When we take this route, going forward, we might encounter problems. So it is important, okay? And also remember, in Swahili they say that mwacha mila ni mtumwa. It doesn't matter our level of education. It is important when our children knows their history. It is important when they know where they came from, the utensils that their grannies used, that their grandfathers used, that their ancestors used. Also, the kind of houses where their ancestors lived in. Like, for example, long time ago, we didn't have these big houses. We didn't have these flats. We didn't have these villas that we are having today. So you will find that someone has been born in the urban area, they have grown, and right now they have their families. They have never seen a roof that is grass touched, okay? In Swahili we say nyumba ya nyasi. They have never seen, okay? So it is important when we take our children back into the village. It is important when we go back to the village, we learn things, different culture, okay? The kind of food that they ate. Those foods were very healthy. Why? Because there were no chemicals that were added to them. Today, you ask a child in the urban area, where does egg come from? They will tell you that egg comes from the shop. Quite interesting. So they need to know that you can rear chicken, they can give you meat, and at the same time, they can give you eggs. Also, it is important to know that the kind of food that we consume, they affect our health directly. And remember that health is wealth. So when you are healthy, you are wealthy, okay? And this kind of food that we eat, like today in the urban area, the eggs from the grilled chicken, they are readily available. That is what we consume. But we will find that when we develop a certain kind of complications and we go to the doctor, they recommend that we eat the eggs from the kienyeji chicken, okay? The chickens that are reared locally. And therefore, it is important to know, our children to know, that you can rear chicken and they can lay eggs, they can incubate the eggs, and right there you will get chicks that will grow again into chickens, and that is the cycle of their life. Not only chicken. You ask them, where does meat come from? They tell you the meat comes from the butchery. They don't know. So they need to know that you can even rear animals like goats, like cows, and when they are slaughtered, that is where we get our meat. In future, like in the economy we are living in, they can be interested in farming. They can rear chickens, they can sell, they can make a living from that. They can keep animals, they can do it for commercial purposes, and it will also help them to earn an income and also bring food on the table. So it is very important. So make a point of just letting our young people learn about our cultures, learn about our traditions, and also learn about how people lived in the traditional African society and setup. So I believe that there are so many things concerning the foods that we eat, how we need to eat, that we will learn in our next episode. But just do me a favor, that share this video with another person, with another young person, and also you can like it, you can drop a comment in our comment section, and also you can subscribe to it so that we can move away from the genetically modified kind of food, and we can live healthy by going back to the root, by living the way our ancestors live, eating the kind of kienyeji greens that they ate. We can become vegetarians. We can avoid the red meat, and at the end of it, it will save us a lot, because we will fall ill very less often. So until that next time, I believe that we will continue enlightening one another about these things that forms the fundamental part of our life. Until that next time, just keep it on our YouTube channel, that is Vigilance Media House.